David, thank God I found you. Before he could speak, she buried her face into his chest, trembling violently. Ethan stood frozen. A massive man with tattoos and a scar across his face was walking toward them through the nearly empty station. Please, the woman whispered, barely able to breathe. He's been following me for an hour. Don't let him take me. The stranger's eyes locked onto Ethan. Who's this? The man growled. Ethan's heart pounded so hard he thought he might faint. He wasn't a hero. He was a broke janitor working night shifts, exhausted after cleaning offices for 12 hours. But when he looked at the girl's terrified face, something inside him snapped. He pulled her close and kissed her forehead. "That's my wife you're talking to," Ethan said coldly. "Take one more step and I'll call the cops." The stalker laughed. "You think cops scare me?" Then suddenly he pulled out a knife. The station went silent. The woman gasped. Ethan's legs nearly gave out, but instead of running, he stepped in front of her. "Run behind me," he whispered. The man charged. In pure panic, Ethan grabbed a metal trash can and swung it as hard as he could. The attacker stumbled backward just long enough for nearby transit officers to rush in after hearing the commotion. The stalker was arrested. The woman burst into tears. "You saved my life," she cried. But Ethan quietly disappeared before reporters or police could question him. He never even told her his full name. 3 months later, Ethan was sitting in a hospital hallway holding his mother's unpaid surgery bill. She needed emergency treatment, and he had already sold almost everything he owned trying to save her. Then a nurse approached him. Someone already paid for the surgery. Ethan looked up in shock. At the end of the hallway stood the same woman, but this time, she wasn't alone. Beside her was a gray-haired man in a military uniform covered in medals. "My father spent 20 years hunting human traffickers," she said softly. "That man you stopped was one of the most dangerous criminals they'd been tracking." Ethan stared speechless. "You didn't just save me that night," her father added. "You helped save dozens of missing girls." Then the woman handed Ethan an envelope. Inside was a check large enough to save his mother's life, and a letter offering him a position with their family. Security Foundation. Ethan broke down crying, because the world had ignored him his entire life. But the one moment he chose courage over fear changed everything forever. Real heroes are not the strongest people in the room. They are ordinary people who choose to protect someone when everyone else looks away.